Welcome back, and I don't think I need to get too repetitive about as a young person. I wasn't a kid at this point, but I was still young. My favorite cartoon of the '80s was Masters of the Universe, He-Man, and the Masters of the Universe. And with the Filmation line coming out, it was a great opportunity to get some figures in their cartoon looks, and the improvements are just astonishing. And I don't think I need to go over that today. I'm going to take a look at Man-at-Arms, Heroic Weapons Master, aka Duncan. He was named after a donut because he kind of looked like the Dunkin' Donut man if you ever really thought about it. And, I kind of enjoyed uh, Duncan as Man-at-Arms. He was an interesting character, one of the few people who knew Prince Adam's secret of being human. And so, yeah, he was a must have for me. So I definitely had to get him. And I do love the fact that, he has the armor on both arms, like he did in the cartoon. And he can do an imitation of the blaster shot that he does at the very beginning. That's kind of awesome, right? And of course, I've talked about how they improve the articulation. I didn't notice until recently that in addition to the articulation improvements, they improve the bodies on these Filmation ones. They don't have to squat as much. The Origins one squatted a little bit, kind of like the old figures. These do not, so that's even better. That makes it much more exciting. Um, you know, and again, this armor is not as intricately detailed as the ones that we've seen with the rest of the Filmation line, and that's purposeful because the cartoon wasn't as detailed. It was animation at the time. I'm digging it because it creates an aesthetic, and I like it. So I'm not gonna complain about it. It works because you're going after the cartoon series, and that look is what you need, and I like it this way. The likeness is just spot on. I mean, it's you know, Man at Arms was one of those that didn't have many expressions. I mean, he laughed sometimes and he got angry sometimes, but most of the time he had a neutral expression, so this works for him. He comes with that big old mace he's known for, and I forget what this little thing is specifically, but I saw him use it several times in the cartoon. I do remember it. It's just maybe some kind of ray gun or something, and somebody's gonna say, "Well, man, you don't know your He-Man cartoon." No, no, no. It's like, yeah, I haven't watched it in well over 25, 30 years, so yeah, I do forget some details. I'm refreshing myself as I do this series, so some things are coming to me, some ain't. But this, you know, again, it's a good figure. It's a good representation of Man at Arms in the cartoon. I like it. I dig it, and he was a necessary component. Uh, Gosh, I hope they do an Orko in this series because, uh, you know, ironically, I've never owned an Orko. Weird, huh? And not that I don't like the character, not that I think he's annoying like some people do. I just don't own one. But I would love to have one to annoy my man at arms. That would be fun and funny. And it sounds a little bit like a broken record because they just keep saying, "Oh gosh, these look like they came out of the cartoon and they look so great and they got such great articulation." Da 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 da. And it's not too much, not too little. Da 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 da. And it's the same thing over and over. And of course, there's reuse because that's Masters of the Universe. That's what they do. Uh, they're the reuse kings. But they were always smart about it. I mean, even though Man at Arms is basically He-Man, I mean, it looks different mostly because of the color and the different armor overlays on it. And, it feels like a different figure rather than it being just a straight up reuse. Something Hasbro might need to learn. Just saying, guys, it was more than just a simple head swap, though. So that makes it pretty alright in my mind. Which is a funny thing because, we complain about it with Marvel Legends because And honestly, it's because it gets so overdone in Marvel Legends and G.I. Joe Classified and other lines from Hasbro that, with Masters of the Universe, we don't complain because they're at least smart and can do something to make the character look and feel different, even though it's a basic body reuse, almost exclusively a basic body reuse. Again, Mattel was smarter back in those days, and maybe they still are. Of course, then again, this is just like G.I. Joe Classified in that they're digging up old corpses and dusting them off, but I do admit the cartoon, at least, and where I haven't been into Origins as much. I was into Masterverse for a brief time, and I haven't been into Origins as much. That makes it a little fresher and a little better, I think. Maybe. Maybe not. I mean, that's hard to say. That's a real hard one to say. But I'm still okay with this. I mean, I'm not going to go very far into this line, I don't think. At this point of this recording, Merman has been confirmed. Evelyn is rumored. I would get those two. Clawful, I think, is rumored, and Webster is rumored. Those two, I don't know. I may not. It will depend. But, at this point, at least so far of what's been confirmed, I am definitely on board. So that'll wrap it up for this look at Man-at-Arms. Don't forget to do YouTube stuff. Have a good day.